Hi everyone, this happened just a couple of months ago, but I still shake every time I think about it. I don't even know where else to turn. So I'm posting this here. I have a golden retriever named Archie. I adopted him from a shelter 4 years before I even met my now ex-husband, Mark. Archie was so much more than just a pet to me. He helped me survive a deep, dark depression after I suddenly lost my father. He understood me without words, never had an aggressive bone in his body, and was honestly the sweetest soul on the planet. When Mark and I got married and I got pregnant, his mother, my mother-in-law Brenda, started driving me crazy. Every single time she came over, it was the same lecture. Animals don't belong around babies, the fur, the germs. What if he suffocates the baby while he's sleeping? I tried explaining over and over that golden retrievers are literally famous for being gentle family dogs. He was fully vaccinated, groomed, and we were obviously never going to leave him unattended with a newborn anyway. But Mark would just brush it off and say, "Relax, babe. My mom is just worried. Ignore her." Fast forward to my 38th week of pregnancy. I went into labor in the middle of the night, and Mark rushed me to the hospital. It turned out to be a really traumatic delivery. I ended up needing an emergency C-section, and I spent the next 4 days stuck in a hospital bed, barely able to move from the pain and exhaustion. On the 3rd day, I asked Mark on the phone how Archie was doing and if he'd been walked. Mark hesitated for a second and said, "Oh, everything's great. Mom stopped by to help around the house and took care of him." That made my stomach drop because Brenda hated Archie. Then came the day I was discharged. I was so happy, holding our newborn baby in my arms as we walked into our apartment. Mark helped me over to the couch. As I sat down, I looked around and realized the apartment was dead silent. No happy tail thumping against the floor. No cold nose nudging my hand. No food bowls, no dog bed, no toys. Nothing. I froze. My heart sank into my stomach. I turned to Mark and asked, "Mark, where is Archie?" He swallowed hard, avoided eye contact, and dropped the bomb. "Look, honey, don't get upset. My mom found him a great new home, a house in the suburbs with a massive yard. He's going to be so much happier there than trapped in a small apartment with a crying baby." My vision literally went black. I started shaking. "What do you mean, found him a home? Where is my dog?" Here's what actually happened. While I was literally in the hospital recovering from major surgery, Brenda took the spare keys Mark gave her, walked into my home, packed up all of Archie's things, and sold him online to a stranger for $200. And to top it all off, she kept the money for herself as a fee for her trouble. And the absolute worst part? My husband knew the entire time. He allowed her to do it because Mom said it was safer for our baby and we didn't want you stressing out during labor, so we plan to tell you later. I snapped. I lost my mind and started screaming louder than I ever have in my life. I was yelling so hard I thought my surgical stitches were going to tear open. I demanded the buyer's phone number right that second so I could get my dog back. And do you know what my husband said to me? "Are you insane? Stop acting like a psychopath. He's just a dog. My mother was doing us a huge favor. She took a massive burden off our shoulders, and you should be thanking her." Something inside me permanently broke at that exact moment. I realized I was married to a man who didn't care about my feelings, my trauma, or my attachments, a man who would happily betray me to keep his mom happy. I kicked him out of the apartment on the spot. Fun fact, the apartment is solely in my name. It was a gift from my parents. I locked the door and refused to let him back in. Within 30 minutes, Brenda was blowing up my phone, calling me an ungrateful bitch and an unstable mother who was prioritizing a filthy hound over her own husband and baby. I didn't care. I managed to log into Brenda's browser history on our home desktop. She had left her account logged in and found the online listing. Luckily, the couple who bought Archie were incredibly sweet people. When I called them sobbing, explained the whole story, and proved with his microchip and vet records that I was his sole owner and he had been stolen, they were horrified. They didn't want any trouble, so I refunded them the $200 from my savings and brought Archie back home. When Archie saw me, he whimpered and pressed his head into my lap for half an hour straight. It's been 2 months now. Last week, I officially filed for divorce and child support. Mark and his entire family are telling everyone we know that I'm a monster who ruined a family over a dumb dog. Mark is telling our mutual friends that I'm suffering from severe postpartum psychosis and keeping his child away from him for no reason. A few of his friends even texted me saying I'm overreacting and that I should forgive his mother because she was only trying to help. But then I look at my baby boy and I look at Archie sleeping peacefully on the rug next to us, and I know I made the right choice. I could never, ever trust a man who betrayed me at the most vulnerable moment of my life. So tell me, am I really the asshole here? Or would any sane person have done the exact same thing?